Hey everybody, welcome back to the Highland Fox. It's Miami week, and you know what that means.
Logan Sargent's home race.
And it's like actual home, because he's from Fort Lauderdale, which is
Yep.
pretty close by, right?
Yep. So a little disappointing of a weekend for him,
Yeah.
but especially as like
He didn't crash.
yes, no one did. It was
Yeah, that's true.
20 starters and finishers, so
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No yellow flags, no safety
safety
cars,
cars.
nothing.
yeah, which kind of leads it into like it was kind of a boring race, I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Max started P9 to then in first, but that's happened so often this season that I'm like, whatever. Like, I feel like he does it on purpose now.
Just to give him something to do.
Yeah. But Logan Sargent's home race, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I feel like it's just the curse of the home race.
Yeah.
So,
He didn't pull Leclerc, though, so he's doing a little bit better than that. But
Yeah.
yeah, 20th, nothing really happened. He broke his front wing in the beginning and then was not to be seen the rest of the time.
yeah.
Except for when Russell thought he was Perez, which was good.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be like, oh, thanks.
Thanks. Besides that, Alonso had another podium, so he's extremely consistent this season. He's finished third every time, besides once I think he finished fourth. Red Bulls have finished in front of him every time, the two Red Bulls. Does Alonso break through? Does he get a second at some point? Does he get a first at some point?
I mean, it's definitely possible, but right now, if everything stays consistent the way it is and there's no rain and Red Bull has no engine problems, no. But
They're winning by over 20 seconds every race.
yeah. So, as the way Red Bull is, until there is a problem with their car or
A Nico and Lewis situation where they hit each other. And,
yes, or like acts of God where it's like a torrential downpour in Saudi Arabia, which wouldn't happen. So no.
that would actually be an act of God, and we wouldn't be doing this channel.
But I don't see it happening. They're just,
So is third the highest he goes all year?
I think so, unless, like I said, Red Bull has a problem.
I'm going to agree with you with one tiny caveat.
Okay.
I think if he can be on the front row at Monaco, he might be able to steal something. Mm-hmm. But besides that, I agree. I don't think Max started ninth and beat his teammate by 7 seconds.
Yeah.
So like
Like
and
even like Perez isn't good enough for like Max and a
yeah,
Red Bull.
unless it's a street track.
Yeah.
And then Perez is a god for some reason.
Yeah, which I
But-
thought Miami was going to be a little bit more of a like
Yeah.
struggle between Max and Perez because Perez is so good on street tracks, and this was kind of
Streetish.
like a hybrid. But
But Perez had an awesome race.
he did.
It's just
when Max
isn't-
went by him, it was
yeah.
like warm butter. Like I don't even.
Yeah.
It's like a different sport. I know I say it every time, but it's just so weird to watch.
Yeah, you said it during the race, and you were like, "It's like everyone else is in like karting, and he's in or like an F2 or F3 car.
Yeah,
and he's in
the
an F1.
only
He's the only-
Formula One car out there.
Yeah. So it's making the races kind of boring, which kind of leads into our third point, which it happens, right? Ferrari had that dominant year with Schumacher. Mercedes had a decade with Lewis.
Yeah.
You know, it happens all the time, but this one feels different. But you know, you get to the point of like second should be exciting. Like we know who the winner is going to be, right? It's going to be Max
Yes.
or Perez by 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So there's no competition there. But you have Aston, Ferrari, and Mercedes all going at it. Like I feel like that should be more exciting.
And I don't know why it isn't, because like it is a race for second, but it's just I don't know why there's no I don't know, there's no like pressure.
So we were talking about this before we started filming, but I think it's almost like the once however qualifying goes, it's set. For whatever reason, you don't see Hamilton. Now he did take Sainz near the end, but like you don't see even those guys fighting. It's like once the qualifying's happened, the race is set, and they don't really pass each other. So that leads
Yeah.
into the last question of, you know, 2022 there was passing up and down, and we've seen this year the passing's down by like 50%.
Yeah.
in every race.
Yeah, I felt like last year every single race we were like, "Oh my gosh." And this year so far I've been like, "Oh,
There's been races where we've literally like walked away from the TV for a little bit to get like something done and came back and we're like, oh, nothing changed. Okay.
yeah." So, I don't know if anything's. I don't think they're going to change anything in terms of
Probably not,
regulation.
yeah.
Just because I think teams are still learning their cars and making tweaks, changes. Ferrari's kind of doing an overhaul of team dynamics and kind of still
Ferrari's
figuring out what's going on there.
Dumpster fire.
There's some stuff going on with Alpine.
McLaren's dumpster fire.
Yeah. There's a lot of internal problems in a few of the teams. So I don't think they're going to do any changes. I think this is honestly a 1-2 Red Bull every race.
Yeah.
I mean, I think obviously that would be unprecedented if that happened.
It's never happened. There's never been a team that's won every race, much less won 2 every race.
I don't think that will happen because they need to take engine penalties. But never mind, they've both come back from behind.
So we talked about this last video, but Verstappen had 30 kilometers an hour faster than Leclerc with DRS. That's a different sport.
Yeah, it is.
DRS is no fun. Granted, Red Bull's the only one that has it. But
yeah.
I don't know. The regulations worked so well last year, so I don't know what happened. Everyone put stuff on their car that made them, because all the drivers are complaining about not being able to pass now as well. So I don't know what happened in the regulations that people found loopholes to now where you can't follow anymore. Because think about Leclerc was behind Magnussen for 40 laps. He was in DRS for 40 laps.
And last week, obviously he couldn't go up against Red Bull, but he looked good.
Right.
And then this race, I was is he okay? He must have gotten hit on opening lap because something's wrong with his car.
But he was lapping the same times as Sainz, and Sainz was stuck behind Alonso.
Yeah.
So it was just
it's very, I don't know,
just a weird.
Maybe it was just a weird race. I don't know. Miami, it's very humid. Maybe that affected.
They did say that tire graining was kind of a problem this race because of the heat.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think anything's going to change, obviously, this year, even next year. Hopefully the teams become a little bit more competitive within each other. So we'll see. But
here's to hoping for more exciting races coming up. Thanks, everyone.